Happy Resurrection Day, everybody, otherwise known as Easter. But happy Easter, Jen. Happy Easter, Sooner Surge, Surgeaholics. It's a great day today. I had a great day today, Jay. Hope you all did as well. Thanks for being on here. And I'm going to go ahead and address this right now. We are live, 9:30, live. This is live. Happy Easter, everyone. Thanks for being up here. Hit the like, folks. That's right, Monty. Hit the like. Don't wait any longer. Do it before we get into all this.
That's correct. And Bobby's getting started right away. I'm sure if people have Twitter, they saw it. Michael Fasusi today said, big announcement tomorrow. And I agree, Bobby, it's probably the top schools list. We'll be in the list. Oklahoma will be. Yeah, great, God, correct. OU basketball made Final Four for transfer Zeke Mayo. Hope we can get him. Dude's a stud. He's from Kansas, though. And if you saw his Final Four, I believe it's Kansas, Texas, I want to say OU and Creighton, maybe. That's going to be tough to land him. But if they did, it'd be outstanding. Big news today, OU lost Milos Uzan in the portal, which not shocking. So, but
yeah, it is to me a little bit. And I'm not going to get on a Porter Moser rant here. But Oweh and Uzan were both Porter Moser's guys. And he wasn't able to keep him. And that's been my issue a lot with Porter Moser.
That leaves one guy right now on the roster that was a high school recruit from, who was it? Do you know? Upperclassman high school recruit, not Cooper. I'm talking about upperclassman. Who was it?
I don't even know, Jay.
Northweather.
Oh, yeah. He may be gone. Listen, I heard that Porter Moser is going to be in Norman. Got to bring his birth certificate. Thinking about getting his name changed to Portal Moser. Or Moral Poser, as someone said on here.
Unbelievable NC State, the run they're on. And let me get to that real quick. First off, Big Orange, tough loss today with Purdue. I was rooting for Tennessee, actually.
Zach Edey, dude.
I was hoping they beat Edey in them, but they didn't. Let me say this about NC State. Jeremy, I know you're not a big Porter Moser fan. I get it. But NC State's coach was about to be fired this year. They're in the Final Four.
Yeah, happens, Jay.
I mean, it can turn like
that. Dan Munson was laid off pretty much, and they wins the Big West tournament. So Zach Edey is better than advertised, okay? I promise you. Better than I thought. And like Rick Barnes said, it's hard to officiate the guy. It's hard to guard him, hard to officiate. Listen, Mike Boganowski, love him, love the name, love exactly what he's going to bring to this team. I think it's going to be, and look, I think it's going to be very difficult for Boganowski to get on the field next year.
There is a lot of people in front of him that's really good, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I saw Kyla's comment. NC State women's basketball as well, Final Four beating Texas. So
you could have UConn and NC State both in there.
They could both play for the championship, I think. Correct?
Yes.
Which would be wild.
Jay, do you think Boganowski's playing as a freshman? Maybe special teams.
He might play. He's not going to get a whole lot of run on defense, I don't think. So the big Boganowski.
I think special teams he could shine, actually. So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah, sounds like the NBA Jordan rules. Yeah, UConn, looking at who they got in the Final Four with them, Alabama, if they win that, they play Purdue or NC State. To me, this is leaning everything towards a UConn-Purdue in that final game. And
absolutely.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
And listen, Edey, there was one time the guy hit him across the forehead. It didn't even look like he got touched because he's 7'4", 300 pounds, but he got absolutely lit up on that.
Yeah, so and I did not think about that stat that Big Orange just put up there, but it's so true. 9 elimination games in a row that NC State has won. That's unbelievable.
You don't do that unless you're an older team, which they are. Dude, Burns in the middle has been playing college basketball for 6 years.
And that's what I'm saying, Big Orange. Had they not won the tournament day, he also would have been fired probably.
It'd have been close. And Zach Edey, I like the guy. I like listening to him. I like him. I hope he's got a future in the NBA. A lot of big guys don't, especially that big. They seem to
He's
just
not your
not pan
typical.
out.
Well, him and the center from UConn, neither one of them are what I would call NBA
Typical.
type centers, except if you compare them to like a Rudy Gobert, they are.
Well,
They're more
Edie's
like that.
300 pounds. Edie's not a 7'6" skinny dude. He's a big dude. Massive dude. Massive human being. He's going to be in the NBA for sure. For sure. Moser should have been fired. Of course, he's not. That's what Jimmy says. I didn't say that, but I've agreed. I wish
you did.
I have said that before. I have.
Okay, so don't say it like you.
I didn't say it right there, Jay.
Don't act like you never said that.
I didn't act like I never said it.
You know, I didn't say that.
Okay. I think Zach Edey's going to eat up Burns. Eat him up.
Well, he is a lot taller than him. So,
yeah.
Boomer Sooner, Mars Jam. How are you today?
We're getting closer to the spring game.
That's right. We are. I'm interested to see a few things for that, and we'll see what happens before that.
What are you interested to see? You said you're interested to see a few things.
I'm interested to see the O-line, specifically a few guys. I don't know Bates at center. Are they going to go Portland for a center, Jeremy? With the Everett injury?
Could be, unless maybe something like Hatchett's brother is to come here. I don't know, Jay. Listen, portal window opens in 15 days. Yep. And there's going to be guys 5 days before the spring game leave.
Hey, and
don't you think, Jay?
Before the spring game?
I think there could be guys before the spring game announce portal.
I don't think so. I think it'll be after the spring game. Hey, Collins, his biggest stock rose I've seen so far is Hicks. Yeah, I think Hicks for sure. And then I want to get to this, a couple things. One, let me get to this before we get to the Hatchett comment. Gray God, you are speaking exactly what I said probably 2 months ago, and I was laughed at about it. I was laughed at about center. So
no, you weren't laughed at about.
Yeah, you laughed and you said that's ridiculous. And I think it's probably right now the biggest question mark on the team is center. Period.
What I laughed at is you called Bates a freshman. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Bates is not a freshman. I'm going to laugh at you all the time.
He's never played a game. Has he played?
He's not a freshman, Jay.
Has he played?
No. Is he a freshman, Jay?
Yes. Has not played.
Nope. That's why I'm going to laugh at you. He's not a freshman, dude.
I consider guys that have never played a snap pretty much like a freshman.
Pretty much like is not a freshman. Trevor Pickering says Milos Uzan and Portal. Yes. I used to coach at Trevor Pickering. Wonder if it's the same one. Jay, Bates has played snaps. Listen.
No.
Kyla says Bates struggling, you heard. I don't know where you heard that at. Sounds like Everett's been getting a lot of the play at center. But, Jay, happy Easter, Braden. Happy Easter to you, too.
Bobby, are you saying why would people not become? My thing is this. It's all due to no playing time. That's why. No experience. We're going to the SEC. That's all I'm saying.
Not a freshman. Not a freshman, Jay. That's why. I just said why I laughed at you. That's why I laughed at you. You called him a freshman. He's not.
Jeremy, you're ridiculous. That's not why you laughed at me. Jeez.
Hey, Trevor Pickering, I coach in Sapulpa. Jay, apparently the animal Kerry Murdoch talking about Bates may be struggling. Look, he might be. I'm not saying he's not struggling. I'm just saying he's not a true freshman is all I was saying.
So
if Jay,
if Everett beat him out and was a starter, it sounded like before he got injured,
I'd be disappointed, yeah.
You wouldn't be concerned about center?
I said I'd be disappointed if Bates wasn't the starter.
Yes. Center would be a concern. Yes.
Yes, I'm not a huge Bates guy, but I did
No,
say
you said you are not concerned at center at all going to the SEC.
I meant Everett. I'm not a huge Everett guy.
But you said you
However,
weren't concerned about center. Now all of a sudden,
not
here
with
we
Bates,
are.
I wasn't, Jay.
No, listen.
Like,
I understand this. I understand you have to start somewhere. All I said and all I'm saying, and I think what Grey God is saying, is how can you not have worries if a guy's never played center and is playing and you're going to the SEC? How can that not be a concern? How can you not be concerned about it?
the O-line is a concern until we see what it is. But, Jay, my deal with Everett, I said, was size, and I gave Everett kudos. He's put size on. He seems to be all in and bought in everything, and maybe he beats Bates out. I just said I wasn't concerned with Bates' inexperience, Jay. That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How can you not be concerned with the inexperience? I don't get that.
Because I think he had the size.
But experience is a big deal, man. I kind of agree, Jonathan. I think they're probably going to get a portal guy.
Well, I want to transition to another area, Jay.
Real quick, though, Bobby. That is my only concern at center is inexperience. I don't know if those guys are.
But listen, Jay, it's fine to be concerned at center, but I don't think you can just point out center. It's got to be the whole line. No one else has been there except Sexton.
I think that is a big issue. Is
the O-line? We've said that before. I've said the O-line's a question mark.
Well, I'm not going to go back and rehash what we talked about a month and a half, 2 months
ago. Jay, but you can't say Bates' lack of experience is a cause for concern and Jackson Arnold's isn't.
I've said Jackson Arnold is.
I haven't. Jay, let me go to another guy who has. Let me go to another guy who has no experience versus a guy who has enormous experience. I've heard a lot of people talking about Michael Hawkins, okay? Listen, I get it. Everyone's excited. I'm saying hold the horses a little bit. I think Casey Thompson's got to be the backup if something were to happen with Arnold.
I don't know. I mean, he's got a ton of experience when you're talking about a guy with experience. Collins dropped the guys that made the plays in the video. Appreciate it.
I saw the video, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Caleb Hicks. Caleb Hicks gives off a lot of Eric Gray vibes with that number 0.
Kyla says Hawkins.
I didn't see what how did Gabe have you excited for Mikey today? Haven't seen it, but all I'm saying is Casey Thompson has played a lot of games, and if something were to happen to Jackson Arnold, I for one would like to see a veteran guy, and maybe they would split the opportunity. I don't know.
Hey, do you think, and this is a question I would love for the people to comment on, do you think that it's easier, for instance, let me just throw a couple names out there, defensive line guys like Okoye, Stone, Jaden Jackson, is it for them to come in and play right away and compared to a guy like Bates at center? Is it easier for a defensive lineman to come play right away than an offensive lineman?
If you have the size, offensive line, when you're the center, there's a lot there cerebrally, Jay.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot that they have to deal with. Blitz pickups, all that kind of stuff.
I guess they're saying Gabe was saying he was better than Caleb Williams. I don't know.
What, who, Michael Hawkins?
Yeah. That would be shocking.
He did not say he was better than Caleb.
Someone just said that. I don't know. And I agree. Bates has been there 2 seasons with Beatenbow. That shouldn't be an issue.
Jeremy, he's never played. He may be all world when he gets out.
I don't give a rip. I don't give a rip if he's ever played a down of college football. He's been in the system 2 years.
You don't think that matters?
No, it doesn't matter.
Jeremy, so now you're backtracking and say it doesn't matter. Which one is it?
It depends, Jay. Gabe said Jackson Arnold looks better than Williams. Well, yeah, I would say that. I've been calling Jackson Arnold the best in the SEC. They said Jerm is right. Maybe talking about, look, every guy at some point is thrown into the fire.
This is Bates' second spring ball with Bill Beatenbow. I get it.
Why is Hunter saying Jerm?
Wait a second. I have never said Bates isn't going to be a great player. Never said that. Have I ever said that?
No, you were just concerned. But I don't.
All I'm saying is, how can you not be concerned because you don't know what you're getting? And you guys, Hunter, Jeremy, you guys are saying that it doesn't matter that he's never played. It doesn't matter at all. Yes, it does.
If he was first year in the system, it would matter.
I don't care how many years in the system you played. When you get out to play in the stadium with 90,000 people in Auburn, it matters.
Oh, it'll jump up on you a little bit, yeah.
Jump up on you a little bit. It matters.
But that for any player ever, it matters because at some point you have to do. Every player in the history of their chance has had that moment where they played in front of 90,000. Every single one.
It's different as a center than it is for a wide receiver or a defensive lineman to go out there and make plays.
But you can't escape it. You can't escape it. Hey, I agree. Hold the horses because I don't know if we want anyone to be like Caleb Williams. Was he that elite? He won no championships.
He won no bowl game, did he?
No bowl game except for with
Bob
OU.
Stoops he did. Bob Stoops.
Why did Hunter say Jerm ...
Probably because you said something about what you said. I don't know.
Hunter, drop it in the chat. I don't even know what I said that was bad. So I'm not sure what you're meaning.
Exactly. Zero experience at center from Bates and Everett. Thank you, Hunter. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, and Jackson Arnold didn't have much time in the bowl game either.
Well, it doesn't sound like Jackson Arnold is having much time at OU right now to throw the ball.
What do you mean?
From what I watched on the Oklahoma Breakdown, Gabe pretty much said that the D-line was in their quick D-line. The defense is way ahead of the offense right now. Now, that's understandable because that usually what happened in the spring is the defense is better than the offense. It usually happens.
Wait, time out. When have I – listen, if you've watched the Sooner Surge, I've been way higher on Caleb Williams than Jay ever has. And I said Caleb Williams has elite arm strength and makes plays. He's going to be the number one pick in the NFL. But he did not win anything. And by the way, all I'm saying is Jackson Arnold's going to be as elite as well. So there it is.
And I will admit that
I didn't say Caleb Williams is trash.
When we started our original podcast like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I think I did come out and say Caleb Williams be the most overrated quarterback ever. And I'm kind of still, I don't know if he's ever going to win anything in the NFL, like as far as Super Bowls. I just don't know. I think he's a great talent, but.
And Hunter, you're actually wrong on this. That's not why I'm mad at him. Actually, I thought he stayed around. I thought he might stay around. He gave OU hope that he might. I'm just saying he makes a lot of wild plays, but he also hasn't won anything. I'm not wrong with that.
That's a fair point with Patrick Mahomes, Bobby.
That is correct. I think he'll be a really good pro, too. Caleb Williams is elite. If I said he wasn't elite, then that's not exactly what I meant. I was just saying that Jackson Arnold's going to be in the same category.
Yeah, I agree, Greg. I could care less about anything personal. Here's my thing with Caleb Williams. That's the last thing I'm going to say about Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is an unbelievable talent. Caleb Williams is an elite talent. Caleb Williams is a great quarterback. But that does not equal winning a Super Bowl.
Baker Mayfield won Big 12 championship. Baker Mayfield made the college football playoff. Correct?
Yeah. He was the number one pick.
Well, no, I'm just saying Eric asked what he won.
Number one pick.
Yeah. I'd take Kyler too. I love Kyler Murray. I love Baker Mayfield.
I take Baker any day over Kyler. Not even close. That's kind of where I was going with it, but I didn't.
That's the only thing I question about Caleb Williams, his leadership. I question his leadership.
I agree with this, Sooner. I would take one national championship. And who was it that dropped that in the Discord? Was that Sooner Mike? Was that Mike? About national championships or Heisman's? I think it was Mike. Eric is correct on something.
Maybe saying Pac-12 was better than Big 12 this year. Yeah. I mean, there were two good teams. Kyla, I would not take Caleb Williams over either one of those guys. Not one.
Reasoning?
I mean, look at what they did at OU. They both won Big 12 championships. Correct? We don't know what Caleb would have done his junior and senior year at OU. So I guess it's hard to judge.
Jen says you will let us know tomorrow. I don't.
Maybe about who she'd take. I don't know. So the backup at USC seems to be doing better than Caleb Williams. So I guess, I don't know.
Well,
I want to know why the hate on Baker and Kyler, Eric and Kyla. I'm confused. What did Baker and Kyler do? What did Baker and Kyler do wrong at OU? Thank you, Eric. Yeah, if Caleb was on this year's team, if Jackson Arnold starts this year's team, we'd probably make the playoff. I've already said that. Thanks for agreeing with me.
You can't say Jackson Arnold. You can't. I mean,
I can. We're going to go there now?
Yeah, we're going there. You brought it up.
I mean, how is Caleb Williams? Look, I think Caleb Williams is a phenomenal talent.
Why are we talking about Caleb Williams?
Generational talent. I do. Arm strength, escapability, he's got it. We're lost. Time
How am I lost?
Time for trivia.
How am I lost?
Let's not make comments on personal attacks on here, please.
Oh, not y'all. Okay. All right. Let's get to trivia. Yeah. And before we do, Kyla, watch next year Better Pro the 3. And we'll find out. We will find out, Caleb. I don't know if you can say next year because I think he's got to build something at the Bears probably first. But before we get to trivia, check out the FanStop, fanstop.com. Use code SURGE to get 10% off your first 3 months. Also, check out their pullovers they have. Check out the red Solo Cup shirt, which they used for they sold, and some of those proceeds went to the Toby Keith Foundation, over $3,000. So go check it out. Fanstop.com. Trivia tonight. UConn in the Final Four. They are the first team since what year to make the Final Four after winning a national championship the previous year? What was the last year that happened? First one to get it right gets the point for tonight. Last year that a team made the Final Four after previously season making or winning a national championship. Not 2001, Tone Loke. Thanks for being on here, Tone Loke.
What's up, Tone Loke?
Not 2009, 14. Don't see it yet. Not 97. Let's see. 2000. I still don't see it.
Chester only cares about football, Jay.
Sorry, guys. I'm still not seeing the answer. Hunter, if you see it, let me know. I'll give you all a hint. I'm looking to see if I see it first, but I don't think I have. Man, this is a tricky one, guys. The hint I'm going to give you is the coach of this team also coached at the Thunder. Should give it away. Go look up what years they were in it. Now, do you know it, Jeremy?
I think there's so many numbers coming through here, man.
There are a lot. There's a lot of guesses.
I have no idea if the answer.
I think Galapos might have been the first one to get it, 2007.
It won't matter. Sooner fans the March champion.
It would have been Florida Gators. Correct.
Trevor says
they
Florida.
won back to back, by the way.
Trevor says Florida right there.
Let me ask you this. Does Dan Hurley go to the NBA after winning another one?
No.
No.
Why?
Well, Billy Donovan ended up going to the NBA.
Yeah, Billy Donovan was a horrible Thunder coach. Thunder win tonight against the Knicks, 113-112.
Yeah, buzzer beater basically from Shea.
Not surprising, Jay.
Not surprising at all.
Hey, the last 20 minutes on here, let's do something.
All right,
Jakeem,
what are we going to do?
Joakim Noah's team. Yes, that's right. I was not a fan of Joakim Noah. I thought he was overrated. But wait, Eric wants me to explain it. I will explain it. You see it back there? Puerto Rican flag. My son drew by hand. My son and I, he's 14. 2 years ago when he was 12, we went on a mission trip to Puerto Rico and helped at an orphanage and an adoption center, building a deck and helping in their facilities. And he fell in love with Puerto Rico, loves it, wants to go back. I loved it. And when we got back, he drew a Puerto Rico flag and hung it in here, which used to be his room, which is now, I guess you could say, my pod room. But there it is. There's the backstory. Thanks for asking.
Nice.
No, he's 12, Mark. Mark, he's 12.
He was 12.
He was 12. He's 14.
Hey,
but listen.
Hey, real quick, this kind of off topic, but I don't know why it just came to my mind. I'll talk about it later.
Say it, Jay.
No, it has to do with the movie. I don't know if you saw the preview. It's right up your alley. The movie Long Game.
Oh, it looks great.
Doesn't it?
Long Game looks great.
And Dennis Quaid, is he always in the sports movies? I mean,
he is in. The Rookie is one of my favorite. I'll cry every time on The Rookie.
Yeah, but the Long Game looks pretty good, coming out April 12th.
Yeah, I'll be seeing that for sure. Jay, for the last 20 minutes or so, 18 minutes that we have on this lovely Sunday night, happy Easter, everyone. Let's do this, Jay. You brought it up, areas of concern. Now, we're not going to maybe be negative, blah, 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 but whatever. If we're going to just say, and drop it in the chat, your top 3 areas of concern. 3, 2, and 1. 1 being the most concern.
Jay says center. I'm going to say, I'll go mine, Jeremy. I'm going to say center. I'm going to say kicker. And gosh, the other one, the third one to me, I'll have to think about my third one. I'm trying to think about it. I'd say offensive line in a whole, also with center. So I'll go 3. Center, offensive line, kicker.
Hunter says kicker, O-line, D-line.
I'm not concerned about D-line.
I know you're not. I think I would say O-line it would be the top of my list, followed by special teams in general. And then, I think D-line's got to be on there, Jay.
Here's what I'll say.
Not many are saying quarterback. Galpois does say that.
Here's what I will say. And you can see all the comments, and I think probably 99% of the people in this chat have had O-line in there as one of their concerns. So here's what I will say. If the defense isn't really good this year, it could possibly be a long year. Because I think the concerns right now are mainly offensively, especially offensive line.
There's no could be concerned if OU's defense isn't improved again. If they don't take the same steps, it took last year, there's bigger issues at OU, and it would start with the head coach.
I think the D is going to be way better. And I think it's all I think really honestly, offensive wise, Jackson Arnold's play, all of it is coming down to the offensive line. Running game, I mean, it all hinges on the offensive line, does it not?
Yeah, it's a major thing. And I like what Kyla says. Offensive coordinator probably could be a concern for people. I mean, we don't know what. Seth Luttrell's hasn't called plays in years. He's new somewhat to it in that extent, but he's also called a ton of plays in his past. So no one knows what Seth Luttrell's going to do. It's kind of like this mysterious aura around the offense. What's it going to look like? What's going to be the feature? What's he going to call when the rubber meets the road? When it's a 3rd and 8, what's going to be his go-to? What's going to be his MO? What's going to be his personality on the sideline? He's going to be on the sideline. He's going to be in the box. I mean, I got a lot of questions with Seth Luttrell.
Yeah, and Kyla says Hope Luttrell runs the ball a lot. Mark says everything hinges on O-line. Seth can help them out by limiting the RPO. Here's the deal. If you do run the ball a lot and you run a lot on first down and you're not getting much yardage, you got to get some positive. I mean, it's got to be – they got to have a pretty decent running game, I think, this year.
Here you go, Jay.
Our season will be decided by versus Tennessee.
Hey, everyone just changed the verb tense in this. Gray God says our season will be decided versus Tennessee. I'm going to say our season will be ignited versus Tennessee. What do you got, Jay?
Our season will be I'm not as good with words as you. I'll have to think about it.
No, you're not. Seth Luttrell had a big game analyst to help with quarterback and play. I'm not worried at all. 12-0. Mez has been saying it every time. 12-0. Dalpo says it froze. It didn't froze for me.
Jimmy says determined.
I like determined. Jimmy, that's a good one. We'll be determined versus Tennessee. Now, Eric did say that he's been running for his life. He heard two ways to look at that. One way I look at that, and this is just outsider. I'm not inside the program. Look, I'm just a talking head, okay? And a loud talking head at that. I will say that I think part of that could be maybe they're rotating a lot of guys on O-line right now.
Could it be that? And I think this is fair, guys.
Allen's correct.
I think it's fair. The 24 defensive line class, we've all heard, we all saw the ratings where they were highly recruited. Maybe they're really good, right? They are really good. And maybe they're going up against offensive linemen other than, I will say, Fabechi, I think is probably, I would bet Fabechi's holding his own if I had to guess. Because I think Fabechi's pretty dang good and experienced. So I think Fabechi's a guy that's probably playing really good right now if I had to guess. The looks of things, I mean, and maybe offensive line-wise, Jacob Sexton may be a guy that might be playing pretty well right now. That would be –
Look,
in fact, on the offensive line, I'll say this. Fabechi, Jacob Sexton, Heath Ozida. I think Fabechi and Ozida at guard, I would say those are your starters. Would you?
Yeah, and I mean, I think, but I don't know. And Jackson Arnold is ahead of the game. Yes, he's ahead of the rest of the offense. As far as O-line, the receivers are the receivers are going to be there. Well, Josh Bates, look, center is the one position like we're not hearing much about at all at center. I've heard, nothing really except for the fact that Everett got injured. I haven't heard a lot about anything, Jay.
Collins in class with Sexton. Let me know what to ask him. There you go.
Well, I think he'll be a starter.
Gray God says Heath has been a bright side to the O-line this spring.
Eugene Brooks has played center.
He's there right now.
If Landon Hatchett were to come in May, I don't know that he could start by the first game.
But why wouldn't Landon Hatchett have already came?
Maybe he wanted to test out the waters with the new Washington staff, Jay.
Maybe
Garen's in his ear saying, "Come on to Norman. Think grass is green over here. This culture is elite. Be a part of it with me."
I think Landon Hatchett would be a great need out of the
Jay, if I went to a college and then called you and said, "Come on, bud, you're my brother, let's go,"
Well, I get all that. Why would Bates be a concern for experience, but a true freshman is fine? Who are you talking about? Hunter, who are you talking about? Oh, Eugene Brooks. I think he's talking about Eugene Brooks.
Yeah. Greg God says
I would be concerned,
Isosa.
Hunter.
Yeah, Josh Isosa. I have heard Josh Isosa has been running some center. That is correct.
And I agree with that, Eric. It takes a lot of time. And that was part of the problem last year. It took too long. They didn't get it gelled. They banked. Listen, fact of the matter is last year, too much was put on Savion Byrd that they thought he was going to be unbelievable. And he did not pan out. Bar none, that was part of the main problem with that offensive line last year. Would you agree?
Well, Savion Byrd was part of the problem, and Tyler Guyton's injury was another issue.
Yeah, but Tyler Guyton played good. I'm talking about early in the year, they could not get cohesion because
Savion Byrd never panned out at OU.
Why?
I don't know, Jay. Savion Byrd had every tool, resource possible to be an elite lineman and play in the next level at a high draft pick. I don't know if it was work ethic. It's all speculation.
No, not really. We might argue all the time, but we wouldn't do that.
Listen, Mark, I'm 46 years old. I've talked to Jason every day of my life. Every single day on the phone, talked, okay? It does seem like we argue a lot. Putting on weight, yeah, but
he was big enough though.
He was the weight was fine for him to play. I agree, he looked the part, and there's been other guys who have looked the part. And Alan says Eichenberg was raving about Hawkins.
Let me say this. I don't know. Anytime there's scrimmages in the spring, even the spring game, I think you can see things and the guys may look outstanding. That doesn't always translate to them playing a lot or looking great on the field. And there's guys that don't look that great. Guys, I watched Josh Heupel in the spring game, and I thought OU was in trouble. I honestly did.
Same with Sam Bradford, Jay.
I thought, oh man, they're in trouble. So I understand that Hawkins, yes, but I also know that Jackson Arnold right now is going up against the number one defense, the ones, and OU's defensive is very experienced, right? Very experienced.
Hey, listen, Colin, when Caleb Williams stepped on campus, everyone wanted him to start. Caleb Williams' recruitment, his number one quarterback rating, everyone wanted him. They had forgotten about Rattler's high rating. Rattler, people didn't rally around. Listen, everyone has rallied around Jackson Arnold. There's no chance people are going to be chanting for the backup over Jackson Arnold. Zero.
No, but I will say this. I will say this. I would say it's pretty good chance Hawkins is the backup over Casey Thompson. I think you disagree with that, but I don't.
I do disagree with it. I think time and situation determines it too.
I know. I think if you're going to give a guy second team reps, I think you're better off giving him probably to a guy like Hawkins to get some more reps.
I agree, Kyla. People wanted Arnold over DG. They're not going to want Hawkins over Arnold. And well, everything we've seen, Thompson really hasn't done much. He's been nursing back from that injury. But, again, it goes with, I think, if OU has 3 losses, they might throw Hawkins in there. I mean, time, situation, circumstance, it's all speculation. And I don't even want to think about Jackson Arnold being injured. So, yeah, Spencer's first year was great. Everyone loved him. But when Caleb Williams stepped foot on campus, changed.
Correct.
Wait, someone said, if next year I'm confused, Mark. So what if Jackson Arnold wins a Heisman in 2024 and he starts struggling in 2025? I'm confused. 2025 is a year and a half down the road. Well, Thompson was good enough to almost beat OU.
Yeah, but OU made a lot of quarterbacks look good, Jeremy.
Agree, they have, Jay.
I mean, there's been a lot of quarterbacks that look like Heisman contenders when they play OU.
I agree.
Fact.
I just love what I've heard from Casey
Jeremy would
Thompson.
say.
Jay, I love what I've heard from Casey Thompson.
I agree.
I think he is perfect in the quarterback room.
I agree. But what I'm saying is this. If Thompson's not going to play, if he's the backup and he doesn't really get many snaps because Jackson Arnold's playing all year, then why not just go ahead and have Hawkins a backup? Because he's going to get a lot more reps.
Well, Hawkins might get more reps at practice, but if Arnold were to go down, that would change.
Yeah, I agree with Thompson being a coach. I think he's going to be really good.
Oh, he's going to be a great coach, and they need to get him as a grad assistant on staff there. I would have liked to have seen it, yeah.
Was Boganowski wearing is he wearing Broyles number 25?
It's hard for me to see 25 and get excited, but yes, he is, I believe. Bobby says that Casey Thompson coaches 7-on-7. His team kills. He has a great football mind. Yeah, he's super cerebral. Super cerebral, and I'd be fine with him getting in.
Oh, Sooner says that was Reggie Powers, but I'd have to look up the numbers. We did a trivia question on numbers the other day, but I can't remember on what numbers what.
Did you see the great Springdale team play, Jay?
No, I did not. Did not. Heard a lot about him. 25 is Boganowski, by the way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thought so. Is there a name you haven't heard yet, Jay? Is there a name that early enrollee that you have not, or even someone who's been there the last year or two, that kind of is?
You know who I'm not hearing a lot about?
Who?
Defensive line wise, you're not hearing Danny Okoye a whole lot.
You're not hearing Danny Okoye.
Not that that's bad.
You're actually not hearing much of Nigel, and you're not seeing really anything about the edge rushers at all.
Look what Eric put in here, guys. Agree or disagree?
Now, here's what I'm going to say, Eric. I highly disagree with Eric when he said that Bob Stoops was overrated and couldn't build a championship program. I was totally against what Eric said. However, I am agreeing with Eric here. If OU is to win a natty in one of the next 2 years, he's got to be in the mix. Now, the longevity thing, which you'd have no reason to suspect that he wouldn't have the longevity, his recruiting class is better than Bob Stoops, and if it continues. Now, he is a branch off of Bob Stoops' tree, so he's kind of an extension of Bob Stoops. So here's what I would say to Eric real quick. You cannot say that Bob Stoops can't build a championship program and then also say BV because he's an extension of Bob Stoops. But I agree with you, Eric. BV wins one of the next 2 years. He's got to be in the conversation of better than Stoops.
Better recruiter, I think. I mean, the recruiting right now is unbelievable, Kyla. And here's the thing, though. And I think most people on here will agree with this comment I'm getting ready to make. We'll see. But it is, people are not taking, all you hear people say, I kind of get not tired of it. I hear everyone saying the playoff now with 12 teams. I'm so happy it's 12 teams. I get it. Believe me, I get it. Way harder to win a natty. 12 teams. You got to go through a gauntlet to win a natty. You're basically winning 3 or 4 games against top 10 teams in a row instead of winning 2. Way more difficult, man.
It's more difficult in this era, especially with NIL.
Especially if you get in at number 11 or 12.
For one, let's just talk about culture. I think it's way harder to build a good culture these years, than in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, not even close. I mean,
Dow Poet. Unfortunately, that is what you have to base it on is championships in the end. That's what people will base it on.
Yeah, but you can't have a championship and then drop a 7-5 and an 8
No,
and
it
4.
can't be a fluke. It
It's
can't
going
be
to
a
have to be
fluke.
something. I agree with the longevity part. It's going to have to be something where you win a natty. And here's the deal: if OU were to win a natty next year, or the year after, there's no reason they should fall off after that because they've won a natty in the playoff era in the SEC, and you have highly recruiting classes already. So,
Jay Johnson, OU won. In your name, it says OU won, but every time you come out here with these, in my opinion, to say OU is 6-6 this year, bad take. Find me 6 losses.
yeah, I'd be absolutely baffled on what's going on if that happened. There'd have to be major injuries,
which would be outside of his control. Yeah. Yeah. So look, we can start with this tomorrow. Well, I'm going to call it tonight too, Jen Kane. Listen, as always, I've enjoyed tonight as I do every night with everyone. Thanks for being on here. Again, happy Easter. Monty, I'm going to close tonight's live with this. Monty says, hope you guys had a great day with your families today, celebrating the Lord's resurrection today. Praying for your dad and for your success. I got to see my dad again today. Listen, worshiping today was great. You're correct. Appreciate that, Monty. And thanks for the Surgeaholics every single night. Hey, before I say it though, Big 12 championships were not weak in the mid or early 2000s. That conference was elite. We'll talk about it tomorrow. See you later. Boomer.